Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have Tina and Steve in the car. And Tina works in the NHS. She's a lovely lady who's looking after everybody. And Steve is
A shunt driver?
a shunt driver.
Wimbledon.
So Steve, what's it like? Tell us your career. How did you get into it? What got you started?
Right, well, I've always been on the railway. I've always liked the railway, but I don't like the public. Right, that's the first thing. Because the public are nothing but a pain. They know it, I know it, so I may as well say it. I've always liked trains.
Have you ever worked with the public though?
Yes. Yeah, when I was a guard, oh my God, I was on the Northern Line at Morden Depot. And
Okay.
every day you get sworn at, spat at,
They
punched.
spit at you and punch
Oh,
you.
they're just horrible.
So wait a minute, what era did you start working
Northern Line, the dreaded
in?
Northern
No, what
Line.
year?
19, now I've got to think, 1989 to 1993 I was with the Underground.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's
And when they don't get what they want, or the train's late, or something's happened, you're the victim. And they see that uniform, that little roundel with the Underground sign on, and that's it, they're going to do something to you.
do you think that it's really about the train, or it's about they got problems at home?
Yeah, I think that's more like it. They're so stressed out. I mean, let's face it, who wants to face the rush hour every day? I certainly wouldn't. They're rammed into those carriages, it's not good, and they're already stressed out. And when they're told, well, you've all got to get off because the train's broken, it's not surprising they freak out.
Now, is a train always broken, or is it a case that someone hasn't turned up for work?
Well, 9 times out of 10, the train plate, I would say, yeah, staff shortages were happening even then. The trains were very unreliable. It was called 59 stock. They were very old, they were very knackered. Nowadays they got 96 stock, and that's a lot better.
So if 59 is from the year
Yeah,
1959.
they were very old even then, and they were
Yeah, that's 30 years old.
they were
isn't
falling
it?
apart then.
Okay.
It was endless trouble with the doors. You always had to go out of service. Oh God, nothing but aggravation. Now it's a lot better though, I've got to say.
Okay. So you've worked in the different divisions. You said you was a guard,
Yep.
Underground, and what else?
Well, I've been all different things. Before I joined the railway, I was a gravedigger.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about it. Did you know him then, Tina? Oh, yeah.
4 years of
How
that.
long you two been together?
37, 38 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's some time, man. Okay, that's
1985 we met.
Yeah.
good. I'll throw in a quick question there. What makes a marriage work?
Understanding and compromise.
Yeah.
More than anything else, you've got to compromise. Because kids today, it doesn't last because they're
They
not
just jack it
willing
in.
to think, hang on, I've got to work around this. They just jack it all in, that's it. Instead of just trying to, you've got to find the compromise, haven't
Yeah.
you, every single time.
And maybe shift work helps.
Yeah, do you know what? We both work shifts, so there's days where there's weeks where I don't
Yeah,
see her for 4 days.
If he does nights, I have to literally say to him, "All right, I'll see you." You know, say if it's like a Sunday night, I'll say, "Oh, I won't see you now till Thursday morning."
Yeah, and that's it. I really don't see her for the whole 4 days.
So your bed is constantly, it's like hotbed.
And we've got an Emma mattress, so it's even better. We've just bought it.
Okay.
My back's improved no end, believe you me. That's the thing you want to spend your money on.
Okay. No, I agree. Always buy a good mattress.
Oh,
Always buy
God,
a good
it's
bed
out of this world.
and stuff.
Yeah, buy a good bed,
A good pair of shoes.
So tell me something. Grave digging. How did you get into that?
I was desperate for a job. I couldn't get a job anywhere. What year was that, team?
Because you've done the year
Late
back.
90s, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took voluntary severance on the Underground because I just couldn't take the pressure anymore.
Oh, the customers.
I just had enough of it.
Wait, you never drove a train either?
Yeah, funny enough, we were emergency train drivers, but we never got the opportunity to ever do that. And they said there's another 4-year waiting list before you can get to be a driver. And I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to last another 4 years on here. So I took the voluntary severance. They said, well, we'll give you $5,000 to go, which wasn't bad money in those days.
This is in the 80s.
This is like,
So you could. That's a deposit for a council.
Yeah, that's not a bad old.
Early 90s.
That was about 93, to be honest. Yeah, and but of course, like an idiot, I left and I couldn't get another job. There was a massive recession on, and I got jobs, little jobs, part-time jobs, packing newspapers and stuff, warehouses. And then I finally got with Croydon Council as a gravedigger.
You said it was the best job you ever had.
Do you know what? As the money was the worst I've ever had, but the job itself was fantastic. You met some great people there, because in many ways, because they're
Well, you mean the not the dead?
no,
They're all great. No one causes any problems there. Tina just covering her
when
now.
you meet the families, you know, when they're burying someone, they're at their best because they're so concerned with their grief that they become better people somehow.
Okay. That's
And
interesting.
they're really, really good to deal with. And if you give them a bit of sympathy, that's all they want. They're at a very low ebb then, so they kind of lose the aggression, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it was absolutely one of the best jobs I've ever had. I was outdoors all day, learnt how to drive a JCB.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't see no family squabbles or anything like that?
No, strangely enough, no.
Everybody respected the
And
dead.
like the differences between the white and black funerals is absolutely stunning. I don't know if you've ever been to any of them, but
Well, I've been to both.
I mean,
know what
boy,
you're gonna say.
a white funeral you'll get maybe 20 people. They won't look at you. A black funeral you'll get hundreds of people. They're actually quite happy. They like to fill in the grave themselves.
Yeah, so-
the family backfill.
Yeah.
That's always fun and games because you get people like falling down the hole and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's generally a whole nicer atmosphere. They have
sing
a whip
songs.
round
Yeah.
for the grave diggers, whereas white families don't seem to even consider it.
So they bury them, they do the work
No,
themselves,
no,
and
they
they
want-
give you a tip.
They want, I'm honestly, we've had some fantastic tips even in those days. It was like
He used to come home sometimes
fi-
with 50 odd pounds.
they give you 50 quid each,
You know, that's between
and
just his.
and that was a lot of money back
Yeah.
then. £50, it was like wow. But you know, that was the appreciation. They say thank you very much. You've dug that hole. They used to look down the hole and say, "Wow, you've done a great job there." And then, some old boy would get the hat and off they'd go. They go round.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you ever done Asian funerals? What's that like?
I've done Muslim funerals.
Oh, is it?
They're the same. The funeral director will give you a great big tip
So it's all
because
very
that's
organised.
very hard to dig. That the hole they put them in
Why?
because you've got to dig a
It's so quick.
well, you've got to do a 2-foot pit at the bottom. Then it's got to have a ridge on it, so they put boards across, and then it's another sort of 4 or 5 feet on top of that. Because the idea is they want to put the body in, they cover it with the boards on these ridges, so the body's got to be able to sit up to meet Allah.
So the coffin's going in.
No
upright.
coffin, it's a shroud. They just wrap the body in a shroud, lay him in the pit, and then obviously at a certain time he's supposed to be able to sit up and meet Allah. But he's got to have room to sit up above him, so the dirt goes on top of like the boards, and he's in his own little chamber.
Oh, like a sarcophagus.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. Well, it's a
Okay.
big Muslim plot at Croydon.
There's one down going. Where is it? Sidcups.
They've got another one at Greenlawns, which is very close to Biggin Hill.
That sounds expensive though.
Yeah, I
Taking up a
don't.
lot of
Well, it was
land.
£2,000 then, so I don't know. I mean, I'm going back a hell of a lot. What, the best part of 25 years there, so it's probably a whole lot dearer now.
How long? Okay. All right. I hear you. So you move from. What would be your advice to somebody who wants to get into the grave digging business? And I suppose it's 24 hours. Not 24 hours. It's all year round, isn't it? Because
It
people
is
don't
all-
say there's
yeah,
no
they want-
seasons and people
Yeah,
dying.
you're right. Well, they tend to use contractors now to save money. They don't seem to have,
Permanent
in
staff.
London anyway, they don't have their own grave digging staff. They tend to use contractors to dig the holes, and they tend to use contractors to do the gardening. because there's endless grass cutting in a cemetery. You must know it's just ridiculous. It's constant. You're constantly out with the strimmers, and it's hard to cut grass around gravestones so you've got to use a strimmer, and it takes forever. And of course, they want the cheapest possible price. They get contractors in to do it. They don't want anybody who. They no longer want anybody who takes pride in the job. They just want it done quickly, get the body buried. Whereas, yeah, the old boys I went with, cool. Some of the when I arrived there, some of them had already done 30 years.
Okay, that's interesting. All right. So do you have to have a certain kind of personality apart from being really strong?
You need a lot of compassion, because they'll often tell you to come to the office, and then they call it an ash job. So you have to go and meet the family at the office. The office gives you the little urn of ashes. You've got to take the family to their family plot. You've got to dig the little hole.
When you say ashes, what
It's like ashes in an urn.
You know, people that have been
Where they've
cremated.
been, yeah, they've
so
been
they want to
crema-
bury the people cremated?
Yeah, you could.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the point of burning them then?
Well, 'cause it's just a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. It's literally a tenth of the
As
price.
a burial.
Okay. All right. But I thought when you burn someone, you take the ashes to your house.
You can do. It
Yeah,
depends
they'll
on-
let you have the ashes to your house as well. A lot of people keep them.
You know, some people like to be scattered somewhere that they like.
Like we've still got the ashes from our cats. Oh, haven't we? yeah. Do you know what? We always said.
You know what? I'm recording this. I wish I had that video when I could have seen your face there.
we always said we'd bury them one day. We can't part with them now.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That was a long time
So
ago
I
as
would
well.
have said the ashes go in an urn with the cat's face on, like a little vase with the cat's face
Yeah,
on.
it's
we've
a
just
little
got 'em in
box.
little boxes with their names on.
Why don't you just put them together in a little jar with
Yeah,
the
we
cat
should do
faces
that.
I
on there?
know.
Yeah,
And
we
put
should
the
actually
cat-
do that,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the lid on.
And just
That's
keep
it.
them till we
Yeah,
die.
Just put it on the on the fireplace next to. Well, if you probably won't go. Yeah, but just somewhere in the corner and stuff. I don't think the grandkids are going to knock it down.
No, they're getting a bit old now as well.
I
Yeah.
don't know with them two. We got twin granddaughters of 8.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
like little whirlwinds.
Oh boy, yeah. The energy. I never had energy like that ever.
So Tina, what was it like in the NHS doing your thing?
It can be very rewarding and it can be very stressful. I've got all the time in the world for people that are genuinely sick.
I can see where this is going. Go
But
on.
unfortunately, I work on a liver and gastro ward. So we have a lot of people who have problems with alcohol.
Yeah, go on.
And they can get very abusive. You know, you get called all the names under the sun. You get punched, kicked.
And what do you do when they punch and kick you?
You just literally have to put your hands back and step back. And if they keep on coming towards you,
Yeah, because
obviously
you
we
duck
call
it,
security.
you can't respond. Yeah.
Obviously, no, you can't hit them back because they're not aware of what they're actually doing.
He slipped away, then that's the perfect time, isn't it? He slipped and fell, Your Honour.
But, you know, security do come up and help us restrain the patient.
Or you just get a needle and jab him with that liquid
Well,
that
that
makes
as
him go
well.
to sleep. Yeah.
But as I said, if they're actually genuinely sick and they need help, you try and do the best you can.
But you say they're alcoholics, yeah?
Yeah. Not all the ward.
Okay. You spoke about gastro and
Liver.
explain what's that all about, please.
Liver, obviously, if you drink too much, you get cirrhosis.
So the alcohol kills your liver.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it can only go to a certain point, you know, because your liver actually repairs itself. But obviously, if you drink to the excess, you go beyond where the liver can't function anymore. And that's unfortunately when the patient dies. And it's quite a shame because some of them are actually quite young.
Oh, is it?
You know, late 30s, early 40s.
Are they dealing with demons? Like, like their
Some
childhood
are.
abuse, whatever?
Some are, one patient actually said because his sister died, it was hard for him to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So he just started drinking. Yeah, as you said, everyone's got their demons.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, some just take it to excess. And no matter how many times the doctor tells them, if you drink again, it will kill you.
Mm.
And it's just a shame.
Do you see any people come out recovered?
I had one lovely Polish lady about 4.5 years ago. She was really upset because the doctor had said to her, that's it, no more drinking. Because she was bright yellow like Marge Simpson. Even
Yeah.
her eyes,
Jaundice, yeah.
everything is just yellow. And, I said to her before, when she actually left, and I said to her, promise me you won't drink. She went, no, I promise. And she actually come back about 3 or 4 months later. She tapped me on my shoulder, and I turned around and looked at this lady to say, and it was only when she actually said my name that I realised who she was. Different woman completely.
She got herself together then.
Yes, and
good.
I said to her, you haven't had a drink? And she went, Tina, I promise you I haven't drunk a drop.
Wow.
But unfortunately, as I said, a lot of them, unfortunately you get them coming back month after month, year after year, until they actually pass away.
So those are the strain on the NHS then?
I would say yes, because
Go on.
you're getting them, every few months they're coming back. And it's like this person isn't learning.
So how, with your experience, what would you suggest we do with them? Because if they're strain on the NHS, what would you suggest?
Do you know, I don't, because, they send people to different places, like in the
Rehab.
country for rehab, which is like a 3-month stint. And as soon as they come out, they go straight back to the alcohol. I really haven't a clue. Something is buried so deep in their head that they just have to drink.
Would it be, and just the thought that comes to mind, I've never thought about this before, because I don't drink, but to say, all right, we've helped you once, we've helped you twice, third time you're on your own, you're not coming back here.
Yeah, see, that's what
I would love to. I'd
that's
love
what I
to
would do
suggest
if I'm
that,
Okay.
because I just think it's so unfair.
Get on the ones who want help.
You might. I mean, I can understand. They drink. I smoke, but touch wood, my smoking hasn't caused any trouble. If it has done, it might make me think, hang on a minute, I need to stop. I do understand that the fact that they want a drink, because I know what I'm like when I want a cigarette.
Okay.
And it's not until you have a health scare that you'll think,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happened to me, yeah.
But in saying that, for instance, you go in this car, you're in the workplace, and you do not smoke.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So you do have that ability to
Yeah.
have that willpower.
I mean, you actually get people that are in there, and the doctors have said to them, you can't drink, and they go down. You can't stop them from going out if they smoke. But I actually said to one of my colleagues, I noticed every time this particular person goes down to smoke, they bring their bag. And I said, which is really strange. I said, because normally they just grab their cigarettes and lighter, go downstairs for a cigarette and come back. And she actually checked his bag when he come back one day, and he had 2 bottles of vodka in there.
Oh, God.
So what's the point?
So did you just discharge him?
Yes, I think we did discharge him then, and when he come back a few months later, unfortunately, he passed away because he didn't listen.
How old was he?
In his 40s.
Okay. So have you worked? You've worked in the NHS for how long?
5.5 years.
And you've always been under liver and.
Always been on liver and gastro.
What do you think about NHS overall? Do you think if everybody's complaining about problems, how would you solve their overall problems?
I think it's just overstretched. You've got so many people constantly coming But sometimes the people come in for the wrong reason. You know, like in A&E. Fair enough, I don't work in A&E. But I know they come in for the stupidest of things.
Like splinter in the finger, stuff like that.
I would argue, I interviewed quite a lot of NHS staff, probably 25% of the people going in there could be avoided.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You could exercise, eat healthier, you could learn how to do first aid at school and fix yourself up, understand about more of the human anatomy, all these things that are just basic. It's like,
I mean, the first time I went to my doctor's, I said to her, she went, "Oh, are you a new patient?" I went, "No." I said, "I've been here for 4 years." She went, "Well, I've never seen you before." I said, "I haven't needed to see you." I always go to my if it's a problem, I go to my pharmacist first.
Yeah. What you call a silly problem.
Yeah, now at work, obviously I can actually ask
one of the
doctors, rather than having to put up, rather than go to the doctors. If you can buy anything over the counter, just go to the pharmacy.
Yeah, I suppose there's also that confidence in what you know. I phone my cousins and my sisters because they all work in NHS. You know, the Caribbeans, we flooded the NHS before when he come in the late 50s, early 60s. Yeah, so that's good for food for thought. If the world were standing in front of you and they wanted one sentence of advice from the two of you about life, whether it's marriage, children, career, or life in general, what would you give? What would be your words of advice? We can start with Ian.
Steve,
sorry. I don't know. Do I look like an Ian then?
Always be honest.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Always be honest.
Yes, you're right. If everybody stopped BSing everybody else in this country, we'd get a lot further. Just point to a problem and say, well, guess what? There's a problem there. Now we're going to deal with it. I mean, just as an instance, the black on black knife crime. First of all, you've got to accept you've got a massive problem, and then you've got to deal with it. You just can't be like Sadiq Khan. Oh well, we live in a big city. What do you expect? It's just that's not right, Sadiq. I'm sorry, it's not. You've got to deal with it.
I hear
not necessarily punishment. I'm not necessarily talking about punishing people. I'm talking about how do we get to the root cause of this.
That's interesting. Yeah, I hear you. That's another whole interview about that.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have brought...
No, but it's an interesting point that you bring up.
Yeah, you can't keep burying your head in the sand, which is what they do.
Yeah. But it's a problem, some problems that they don't want to deal with.
Yeah, they just don't want to deal with it.
You see what I mean? But you can deal with things, and for instance, I'd say back in the day from GLC, they would fund lots of youth clubs.
Yes, things like that.
They would, summer holidays, one school would always remain open and all the kids would go and play out there and be taken on day trips. Why? To keep them off the street and causing problems.
Yeah. I was very lucky. We had an adventure playground right across the road from where I grew up. And me and my two brothers, we virtually lived
you were quite
in
sporty,
that adventure playground.
Yeah.
And it was open all the time, Monday through to Saturday. And on Sunday it used to be like, oh, the adventure's not open today. And we were lucky, we were there all the time.
And the people were really nice, weren't they? They were great.
There was two in particular, Dave and Debbie. I'll never forget them for as long as I live. They were absolutely marvellous.
What area was this?
Lambeth.
Lambeth, okay. All right.
But yeah, couldn't fault it.
Well, we're coming to the end of the journey now. Thanks a lot for the interview, been very interesting.
That's £57.
No problem. I will let Sadiq Khan know that you want some money. And we wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.